This Shabbat is Shabbat Nachamu, a Shabbat of comfort, of consolation. It draws its name from the opening lines of the Haftarah, Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, may you be comforted, my nation. On the heels of Tisha B'Av, when we said Ein La Menachem, the city of Jerusalem, the nation of Israel, has none to comfort her, Menachem, we now turn around and switch gears, and we listen to words of comfort and encouragement, that the brokenness can be healed, that all the suffering will be alleviated. Nachamu, Nachamu Ami, says the prophet Isaiah. And this double language, Nachamu, Nachamu, the two words that open our Haftarah, are mirrored then in the next verse, when we read that the city of Jerusalem has suffered, that the nation has suffered more than they deserved. Kiflaim l'chol chatoteha, double, kiflaim, double. And so we need this double comfort of Nachamu, Nachamu. Let's listen now to the opening lines of this Haftarah.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami, Yomar Elohechem, Daberu al lev Yerushalayim, Vekiru Eleha, Ki Marea Tzeva, Ki Nirata Avona, Ki Lakecha Miad Adonai, Kiflaim Bechol Chatoteha, Kohl Kore Pamidabar, Panu Derech Adonai, Yasheru Ba'aravot Mesila Leloheinu, Kol Yinaseh Vechol Har Vegiva Yishepalu Vehaya He'akov Lemishor Ve'harechasim levik'ah, Ve'nigla kevod Adonai, Ve'ra'u chol basar yachdav, Ki pi Adonai diber.
One of the themes of Tisha B'Av and of the suffering of the Jewish nation was the sense that God had abandoned us, that God had turned God's back on us and on the covenant, the connection between God and his people. And so one of the images of the consolation that we read in this Haftarah is that of God returning and reuniting with the nation. And there are beautiful metaphors used here, that God is like a shepherd who would graze his flock, would gather lambs in his arm, would carry them in his bosom, would lead the nurslings, that God is still here with us, that even in darkness and in brokenness, we know that we are under God's protection. And that too is the nechama, the comfort that we seek.
Hine Adonai Elohim bechazak yavo uzero moshelalo, hine secharo ito uf'ulato lefanav, kerohe edro yireh bizro yekabet telaim ubecheko isa alot yenahel, mimadad b'shaolo מים ושמיים בזהרת תיקן וכל בשליש עפר הארץ ושיקל בפלס הרים וגבעות במאזניים. מי תיקן את רוח אדוני ואיש עצתו יודיענו.
As we'll now hear the final verses of the Haftarah, we can begin to ask ourselves, how do we move forward? What comes next? And it's important to remember that this is just one of 7 Haftarot, of 7 weeks of Nechama, of comfort. This is meant to be just the first step toward the comfort of connecting, reconnecting with God and with holiness in our lives. And those 7 Haftarot, those 7 weeks, will lead us right to Rosh Hashanah. It's a reminder that the task of rebuilding and of healing and of putting our lives together, the task is ours. The task is that of tshuva, of repentance. That if we want to feel more godliness, more connectivity, more rootedness in our lives, that it's up to ourselves. It's up to us. It's up to us to engage in the process of 7 weeks of tshuva, which will carry us from the destruction of Tisha B'Av to the healing and the hope and the confidence of Rosh Hashanah. And even in the midst of so much uncertainty in our world, we know that our souls are strong, our community is here for us, and that the comfort will come.
היושב על חוג הארץ ויושביה כחגבים הנוטה חדוק שמיים וימתחם כאוהל לשבת הנותן רוזנים לעין שופטי ארץ כתוהו עשה אף בל ניטהו אף בל זורהו אף בל שורש בארץ גזעם וגם נשף בהם ויבשו ושערה כקש תישאם ועל מי תדמייוני ואשווה יאמר קדוש שאו מרום עיניכם וראו מברא אלה המוציא ומספר צבעם לכולם בשם יקרא מרוב אונים ואמיץ כוח איש לא נדר.
Thank you so much for joining us. We feel your presence here with us, and we wish you a Shabbat Nachamu Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.